Recording in progress.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Standing Committee on Finance, Operations, and Governance. And if I could ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Vice Chair Biancaria?
Here.
Member Johnson?
Here.
Member Roy?
Here.
Chairperson McCullough?
Here. And our first item, or I should say our only item this evening, is a very important item of GB 4-56 to consider changing the name of Chandler Magnet La Familia School to La Familia on Chandler Multicultural School was the initial item. And we previously met and went over the findings and had a conversation with administration where out of subcommittee we asked that this go back to administration for additional community input. They worked with LEI to gather some community input, developed a survey that was given out to the school community and the community at large if they so chose to respond to that survey, so that we could work together to come up with some options that can then go back for a final vote to the community. So I will ask first that administration, we have Jessica Boss and Ellen Kelly here with us, who I have some information to present as, first I will open it up for any public comment first. So is there any public comment either in person or online? Anyone online, Christine? No? Sorry. Okay. All right, so then I will open it up to administration, please.
I will share. I'm going to share my.
No, you have to share this.
Good for me. Hold on. Having a little technical difficulty.
Because it's fine.
While they pull that up, I'll just say that what happened was administration pulled together a survey, and people were able to voice their opinions on different selections as far as changing the name, keeping the name, different things that were of value and priority to them as they took a look at that survey, and we were able to get some good information back. So just as they get this up with a little bit of technical difficulty, just a little background around that.
Technical difficulties.
Is that all set, Christine? Do we know if that's working on that end of the share screen?
Oh, that's the problem.
It was no. It was in that one. So is that the Zoom?
Yeah.
So go back into that window.
So we will have ample time to have this report from this evening's meeting, and it'll be presented tomorrow night at the school committee meeting, is that correct?
I would have to ask the clerk because I don't think it's on for
No,
tomorrow.
because I wouldn't have the minutes.
And it wouldn't be on, it's not on the
Posting
agenda.
deadline was
Yeah.
yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
We can make it for the.
I mean, if we're having the technical difficulty, if it's easier just to verbally.
So then they would get this report on October 10th, and what occurs this evening, correct?
Yes.
It will, the first, the standing committee,
On the holiday.
yes, the standing, yes, just for clarification, the next full school committee meeting, not this one on the 20, I don't even know what the dates anymore. The 19th is tomorrow, the
Right.
19th, the 19th will have that.
Agenda is my item on, so.
Which one?
Introducing
Yep.
I haven't seen it come through yet, but it's not done yet. So I have until Monday.
Okay.
Well,
If
yeah,
it's on
they
there, I
haven't.
can speak on it.
Okay.
I come to the finish.
Yeah.
I get it.
Mhm.
I know.
They have until Monday to give me all the.
Oh, Looks like we've got some action going here. All right, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for all that additional tech support. So now I will turn it over to administration to go over the survey results and a little bit of how the survey was designed and the objectives around that, please.
So myself and other members of the administration worked with the site council to create a form to distribute to the whole school community. And this right here is just a picture of the form. The form was both in English and Spanish. It was distributed through Parent Square to teachers. It was distributed to the whole school community.
It was also on the website.
And it was also on the website. And everybody had the opportunity. There was a window of time of when they had to complete the survey. Quick. Okay? So on this sheet, it shows 4 school naming survey results on La Familia, on Chandler Multicultural School. There were 233 responses. Of those 233 responses, 192 were English and 41 were in Spanish. Distribution by the respondent groups, as you can see, 44 school staff participated in the survey, 40 classrooms, so that was the students took the survey in the classroom, and the winning answers were given as a classroom, so there were 40 of those. 139 school members, school family members completed the survey, and 10 community members completed the survey. The first question, the survey was able to go 2 ways, so based on the answer to the very first question. The first question was, do they want to keep the name La Familia on Chandler Multicultural School? If you'll just go back to the other slide, I'm just going to show, of the 44 school staff, 31 wanted to keep it, 13 wanted to change it. Of the 40 classrooms, 17 wanted to keep it, 23 wanted to change it. Of the 139 school family members, 58 wanted to keep it, 81 wanted to change it. And of the 10 community members, 9 wanted to keep it, 1 wanted to change it. Go to the next slide. So this is a simple pathway of where the survey would take you. So first of all, they answered the questions, 233 of the aggregate, 115 people wanted to keep the name, and 118 wanted to change the name. So it was pretty evenly matched. So if they answered they wanted to keep the name, they were done with the survey. That was the main question. That was one big point of information we were looking for. If they did say they wanted to change the name, they went on to a part 2 of a Google form. And on that, one of the questions on that Google form was, what were some of the indicators? We asked the participants what aspects they would like to be included in the new name. So, and there was a drop-down of choices, and if you can see the drop-down of choices, one of the aspects would be the name should translate easily, and 53% of the people that responded said that that was important to them. The name should have meaning and align with the core values. 49% of the people thought that was important to them. And people could pick more than one aspect that was important, so it wasn't just a one choice only. The name should reference being a dual language school, and 46% of the participants thought that that was important. The name should reference being a multicultural school, and 23% of the participants thought that was important. And the name should reflect a prominent individual, and 4% of the people that took the survey thought that that was important. So that's
Thank
where
you
we
very
are.
much. Thank you.
Yep.
So I do have some questions, comments, and thoughts, but I'm going to open it up to my colleagues first. So I'll start with Vice Chair Biancaria. Any comments or questions?
Not at this time.
Member Roy?
Not at this time.
Member Johnson?
Thank you.
Oh, can you hear us? I just want to make sure. Do you have any questions or comments about the survey or the process?
I have no questions. I thank the administration for taking the time and doing that work.
Thank you. So, first of all, I want to thank both the school community and the administration and the community that did participate and respond. And I know that this has been a lengthy process, and I know this is really important to the school community to move forward with the new name. And, you know, we've combined 2 schools here, and that was a really important part of the conversation. So I really appreciate everyone's patience and willingness to work through this process that, you know, was a little bit unique for us, and we were trying to work through as best we could on the school committee end as well. So, you know, I looked at this back up in the data, and, you know, almost 50% of people voted to keep, almost 50% of people preferred to change it. And, you know, knowing that, it's really important when we're looking at all the different options on here to come up with potential names based on those suggestions that were put forward from the survey. I noticed too, you know, 27 of the 118 who wanted to change the name suggested a blending of the names, and 91 suggested a completely new name. And I just wanted to ask administration if you could just clarify for me, you know, when we talk about, you know, 46%, I believe, of the 91 people who wanted a new name thought that dual language was important as part of the name, or, you know, as part of the consideration. And one of the things I know we talked about in the past too was like dual language versus multilingual, and if just administration could clarify, you know, why dual language is maybe the more appropriate choice for this particular program.
So through the chair, dual language is important to the administration because it is a dual language program. The goal of dual language is to have students taught in 2 different languages and focused on biliteracy and academic proficiency in both languages. So that is really what is representative of the school that we're talking about. So administration supports that, as did the stakeholders that took the survey.
Thank you. And I'm just trying to see what other questions I had jotted down here. So yes, and I think that, you know, that was an important distinction, because I think that's a question that many of us actually had, the dual language versus the multilingual, and what was more appropriate with the conversations that had happened over the last few months. The other thing that was of note is that the magnet school, it's because it is a school that serves students from the entire city, so that, you know, while we do have some, we know that there are some schools out there that may still have magnet in the name that are not true magnet schools. This would encompass that, where students from all over the district have the opportunity to apply to participate in the dual language program. So that keeps the magnet program. And hold on, I'll let Member Biancarria have a question or comment.
Just the comment that if you could explain, summarize perhaps, the program itself, when we say dual language, for people who are not familiar with the school at all, what would consist of the dual language program? Please.
You're on. You're good.
Oh, okay. Susanna Resendez, the principal of Chandler Magnet La Familia. So a dual language program is really an equity-based program to really level the playing field for all stakeholders. Monolingual English, monolingual Spanish. Students are, and children that don't speak either Spanish or English. I just enrolled a preschooler that speaks Portuguese today. So what we really aim for is to achieve bilingualism, biliteracy, socio-cultural competence, and build global citizens that are able to access and navigate this multilingual world. We are a rigorous program. We are an inviting program, but we are also lottery-based. So we have many stakeholders in the community that are interested in becoming a part of our community. We have also a transitional bilingual program, which I think is why the multilingual component came into play. And that program is really designed to bring newcomers into an acculturated, state of learning in the school. So we're really proud of our work. We have made a lot of strides in the last 2 years, but really we do want to be the program that the state talks about and bring put Worcester on the map for dual language education.
Thank you. The last question I had on this, if you don't
No,
mind,
please.
Chair. Presently, do you know what the enrollment number would be for the school at this time?
I can tell you that.
You
It
sure?
was 523 as of today. On Friday, it'll be 524.
So 524 students are participating in this particular program?
No, because we have dual language, we have TBE, and we have SEI, Sheltered English Immersion. So
Okay.
in the dual language program, it's about 2/3 of the school between TBI and TBE and dual language. We have about 110 to 15 students left in the SEI program, which will slowly phase as the building grows.
Mhm. And they fill out an application to enroll in this particular school, or you mentioned the lottery. What is the process for that?
So in the spring, the Parent Information Office, in conjunction with the multilingual department, will start a recruitment campaign. And to enter pre-K or kindergarten, the families go through an application process and their name is put in for a lottery. And then in May, the ML department, members of the family face office, and myself, we sit and we conduct the lottery in a very transparent way. It's recorded so that there are no questions about who gets in. Any child in Worcester that might have been not able to get in through the lottery goes on the wait list. And as you know, we have attrition, or if families relocate, then we call off the wait list. Families that are on the wait list have the opportunity to enroll in the program up until Q1, the end of Q1 of their first grade year. After that, the dual program isn't an option per se, because there's been a lot of instruction in the partner language, Spanish, that has been experienced up to that point. Children that come in from other countries have the option, for example, from Spanish-speaking countries, have the option to enroll in the dual language spot. We always have space for them so that they can capitalize on their assets. And children that don't choose dual language might choose the TBE program. And others that are eligible are children that are transferring into the district from dual language schools. So that's how you essentially get into the program.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I appreciate that explanation. I appreciate you asking that question to Member Biancarri, because I think some of us, we've talked about this so often. It's good for the public watching to understand what the program is and know about it, because I think that's important. And I think it's something we should really be proud of and highlight. And I think to the principal's statement, we want to be a gold standard. We want to be someone the state looks at to model. And I know that, you know, we've tried several different things over the years. We had the unexpected shift of where we had to combine the two schools, but now really how building that together, moving forward together, and then those students then have the opportunity as well, just to, correct me if I'm wrong, through administration, they can then carry on to, I believe it goes to Burncoat after.
Yes.
So that's where they can continue on with the dual language, and then we see a lot of the students with the seals of biliteracy and things like that. So, you know, definitely a great explanation around the program. So going back to, well, I'll say one other thing. Well, no, I'll go to this first. So going back to coming up with some names to bring forward that we want the school to be able to vote on, to then bring us back one final name. So I want to ask, my motion is going to be to ask administration to provide another survey out with the recommendations, and this is my motion. Certainly if someone has a counter to it, please, obviously that's more than welcome to, as are my fellow committee members. But I really reviewed a lot of the names and the data that was provided as part of the survey and part of the past conversations with some of the community members involved, and looking at the list, knowing that dual language too is something that was important, and knowing that you know, it is a magnet school. I'm making a motion that we propose 3 names that be given back to the community to vote on. And when you're looking, if people see the backup on this, these do come from the list of suggestions. And the first one I have is Nuestra Dual Language Magnet School. The second one is Worcester Dual Language Magnet School. And the third is La Chandler Familia Magnet School. And the La Chandler Familia did come from this backup. And also really trying to keep in mind that some people had not wanted to change that initial name at all, taking into consideration the number of respondents and percentages, as well as things that translate easily, and really trying to be as fair as possible in reviewing the data in the process to come up with these options to be brought back to the school community. So that would be my first motion that I would make. I'm going to, there's a second motion, but I really want to give credit to Member Roy for this motion, so I'll say it, but if we can make it Member Roy's motion, because she had mentioned it to me previously, is that once the name has been settled and determined upon, that we do some type of acknowledgement, like a recognition ceremony when we have the new signage and the new name at the school to really, embrace the coming together, the new name in the community. So that's, I'm going to put that on for Member Roy. But so the motion is to pose these three names back to administration to develop a survey for the community, the school community, and however they want to continue with that survey process. Bring us back the final answer at, it can be at full committee, so that we can vote as a full committee on that name to then move that process forward so that we don't delay this process any further. So then I would ask the roll, if the chair wouldn't mind calling the roll, and if people are okay, we could call that collectively on those two motions.
Vice Chair Biancaria.
Yes.
Member Johnson.
Yes.
Member Roy.
Yes.
Chairperson McCullough.
Yes. So without further ado, that was our only item on the agenda for this evening. We do have another FOG meeting on the 23rd. That will be a more full agenda, so people can look forward to that. But we know it was really important for the school community for us to try to not delay this any further. So I appreciate people being available to meet tonight. And so then I would ask the roll to call, the clerk to call the roll to adjourn, please.
Vice Chair Biancaria.
Yes.
Member Johnson. Member Roy.
Yes.
Chairperson McCullough.
Yes. Thank you.